In this video, I'm breaking down exactly what to do this season so you can land an offer from one of your top schools so you can go D1 like I did. This is actually from a group call with some of our higher level athletes. So if you're already playing on Friday nights and posting your highlights each week, this is going to be one of the most valuable things that I can give you for free. And if you stick around till the end, I'll give you our exact scripts and strategies that we use inside of our paid program.
I think this is one of the most important things if you're in season because you obviously work super hard all off season. You do lots of workouts, you do all these different things. So in season, we can't just be sitting on our ass and expect stuff to happen for us. So this is one of the most valuable pieces that I've picked up. And the beauty is that most of you guys have a similar schedule, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So your schedule might look similar to all the guys that are in here, but so most of you guys will play Friday nights. So this is game. So what happens before the game, what happens after the game is going to have a huge impact on how you play on a week-to-week basis, right? So for example, when I was in high school, and it's kind of shifted throughout the years, but say you play on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, literally as soon as I would play on Friday, I would have my highlights up by Saturday. So that's really the biggest thing, highlights on Huddle. I would obviously watch the entire film and review and do those types of things too. But getting your highlights up either Saturday or Sunday is going to be a super important piece of all of that. And you can do some recovery and stuff like that too. You have to find out what works for you. And some of you guys have sat down and we have you on our in-season type program, but sitting down with you and figuring out what days you're going to have practice and walkthroughs, and your harder practices are probably Tuesday, Wednesday. You might have something Monday too, right? But getting your highlights up so that you can send them out to coaches that's Saturday, Sunday, and kind of have a clean slate going into the next week before you start, your preparation for your next opponent, right? So lifting, I'd say twice per week. If you're not with your team, doing that on your own is going to be super important. So 2 times a week lift. As far as I do 1 day of speed technique, bang, speed technique, and then 1 day of true top end speed. And I know you guys that worked with us in the spring and doing agility and stuff like that. You guys don't need any sort of agility or much volume of work because you're getting so much volume in during practices. So really 1 day of speed technique, probably Monday or Tuesday, and then your top end speed day, doing flying 20s after practice, taking your pads off after practice and doing some flying 20s, doing that on a Wednesday or even a Tuesday, most likely. And then your lifts you can shoot for earlier in the week as well. So as far as training, that's what it should look like in your weekly routine. Figure out what works for you. And obviously me and Coach Andrew are here to help with both of those things. And then translating into the preparation part of it too, right? Your preparation for a Friday game starts way before Friday or even Thursday night, as far as hydration, rest, recovery, sleep, all those types of things that you need to be locking it in on those things Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and have a routine around it. So every Thursday, I would jump in Normatex for 30 minutes while watching Thursday Night Football, just having a routine of something you can do every single week. So I do Normatex, I do ice bath. I'd watch a little bit of film too. And I'd always eat chicken Alfredo. So I would make 2 things of chicken Alfredo, 1 to eat on Thursday evening, 1 to eat on Friday for lunchtime because we would play on Friday nights. Okay, so that was my Thursday routine. Friday routine is a little bit different. Just you could play on Saturdays too, so game times and things could be different. Okay, is all this making sense so far, y'all? Any questions?
No, it's making sense.
Love it. Okay, as far as Friday, right? Wake up. Taft, you said y'all have a primer on Thursday too. Yeah, that could definitely be part of your routine, but you have to go and figure out what that's going to look like for you and what works best for you too. So Friday, obviously, you're probably gonna have school and stuff during the day. Totally cool. But planning out your lunch, any sort of snacks you have during the day. And still to this day, like 3 hours before game time, it's a B and a 4 game. I would have a Cliff Bar and like a Body Armor sports drink. This is just what's worked for me. But you obviously want to focus on like carbs the day before, the night before, and then the day of too. So I'd have chicken Alfredo again for lunch, and then I'd have a Cliff Bar like after school, and I'd even have like a little 6-inch sub too from Subway on some of those days. So obviously carbs super importantly. We can sit down and figure this out, what it looks like for you, but I want you guys to think about it on your own as you're going throughout this, because like your routine is how you're going to play your best every single week, because like your body is going to know like, okay, now it's time to do this. Like it's literally like a process where your brain is preparing your body and your central nervous system to like go out and perform on Friday nights, because you've been doing all these different things up until that point. If you just like, if your routine's different every single week, or you don't really have something locked in place, then you risk going out there on Friday nights like not totally prepared, or your body not totally being ready to go. So does all that make sense? Brett, you have any questions, man?
No, I'm all good.
Cool. What do you guys feel like you've been doing currently for your routine, or maybe something you've been doing, or maybe something you haven't been doing that's affecting it one way or the other? Brett, I know I've talked to you a little bit about this, but as far as the math around recruiting, so like obviously the preparation, the execution, and the review is what we just talked about, but now just like the raw truth of the math of what it takes to get recruited, right? So everyone's numbers are going to be different, but like at the very least, there's this process where you have to be selling coaches on the next step of the process. Like you wouldn't ask, like you wouldn't go out on your first date, Brett, and ask a girl to marry you, right? I mean, you might, but I'm just yeah, exactly. I'm just playing, bro. But so there's this natural process, right, where coaches have to go on down the line from them just being an eyeball on your Twitter, on your film, on your email, those different things, them being an eyeball, going down to say a follow, going down to a message. Okay, then that might be like phone number. Then you could say visit. Then you could say offer, right? There's these pretty clear like steps throughout the process that they have to go down, correct?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Cool. So there's these pretty clear steps, and there's going to be a percentage associated with each one of these different things, right? So them going from an eyeball to a follow, right? For some person, it might be 20%. So 20% of all coaches that land on your profile might follow. For someone else, it might be, I don't know, 4%, right? It's going to just vary for every single person, but that's why it's important to have your Twitter optimized and to have a good subject line on your email, to have a good bio in your Twitter, right? To have that opening play on your huddle reel be good. I could see here too, like film scene potentially or something, film watched as an extra step. And there's a whole bunch of little mini steps inside of here, right? Film watched, right? But there's a certain percentage that are going to keep on going down the system. So that's why it's important to have that first play be good, to have your Twitter bio be good, because if your Twitter bio isn't optimized, and if you have information in there that doesn't really matter, or you don't have the information in there that matters and they want to see, then this percentage is going to be way lower, and there are going to be less phone numbers, visits, and offers to come to the bottom naturally, because this number is so low, right? So with that being said, if we go and look at, like, this is a good bio, and I have tabs up because we were just talking about his week 1 highlights, right? But this is like a pretty good bio. Your class, your position, height, weight is a pretty strong point. Even something like that is, all these things are pretty solid. YouTube highlights there, pin post is pretty good. So that the percentage of coaches that are going to take the next step is going to be naturally pretty high, because this is a solid profile setup. Same thing with like email, right? If your subject line for an email is solid and it's a little bit personalized to a point, right? then the percentage of coaches that are going to open the email and the percentage of coaches that are going to take action, go to your Twitter or watch your highlights is going to be higher. So with that being said, the next step is them watching your film, right? So that's where like the preparation and those things matter of, going out there and executing on game day and getting the film and getting the stats. Like this first play of Taft's is pretty sweet. Like a 60-yard touchdown off the tip, bang. So like getting those plays is awesome because it increases that percentage of a coach going down the ladder. Now, that's great and all, but like some of you guys, the primary constraint, like we've obviously taken care of your Twitter, we've taken care of those things. Now, like the biggest thing that breakout room now. The biggest thing that you need to take care of is just getting more eyeballs on you, right? Because even if you have this funnel, right, of sending coaches down the ladder, down these steps from eyeball to film to follow. If you're only getting 20 coaches to see you every month, then no matter what these percentages are, even if 50% of coaches go on to watch your film from landing on your profile, right? Like then that is already down at 10, say even half of those. So even if your numbers are like crazy, like half of the people all take action on the next step, you can see that it goes down the ladder pretty quickly, and there's not much left down here to be able to come out the other side, right? And like 50% is a pretty high number, and that's being pretty generous, being pretty conservative, right? So on the other hand, like once you have those things optimized, your Twitter's optimized, you have the film and those types of things, then you need more eyeballs on the top of this entire system, right? So that's kind of what I'm going to lay out here next is how we can use Twitter, how we can use those different things, how we can use X or Twitter, and how we can use email to get more eyeballs on the top. Because if you go from 20, right, to say, 500 a month, then these percentages are going to stay the exact same. But, there's going to be a lot more coaches to actually watch your film, say now it's 250, right, and then 125, right? Just naturally, you're going to have way more come out the bottom because there's so much more going in the top. And then we'll go through this outbound guide that all you guys should already have. If not, I'll drop it in our Slack channel or in the school modules. But okay, so right now, obviously email is pretty much taken care of, and we can launch some new campaigns. But for the Twitter stuff, like that's done by you guys. So come into the database. You want to pick out your target conferences, schools, level, whatever it might be, and make sure that your Twitter's optimized, like we just said, so that the eyeballs are getting made the most of in the entire thing. Right. This is the exact strategy and steps that I use to literally have over 100 D1 coaches follow me in like a 4-week span when I was in the portal, and ultimately to play Power 4 football. Right. At the end of the day, volume negates luck. I did over 2,000 outreaches or follows before I got my first D1 offer. So if you don't have the opportunities that you want, then follow the script below and do so much volume that it would be unreasonable that you won't earn the right opportunity. All right, so you can make a copy of this doc, make a copy of the database, and then go from there. Put all the coaches that you want to outreach to in one singular sheet if you want to, or if you just want to go down the list right here, then you can do so. But get them into a list, know what you want to kind of say here, and we have different kind of options here based upon where we're at. So most of you guys have been doing like just the normal outreach, which is awesome. Hey there, coach, last name. I like the brand of football you guys play at school. Just wondering if you're looking for a 2026 wide receiver or, whatever your grad year is and your position. Because what do coaches actually recruit based upon first is their team needs. Like if they're stacked at wide receiver, then you just want to get down to the point right away of if they're going to be recruiting a receiver in the next class. Because you could send them your film, you could follow up with them, 5-6 times, but if they're not actually looking for a receiver, then like that's the easiest way to filter yourself out and to know if a coach and a school are going to be serious about you and you playing there, right? And it's also like no one asks this question. Like everyone just kind of like puts a big paragraph of information about them and their stats, and coaches don't really, care about that. So send your film first. This can be your screen recorded highlights from a year, or getting down later, we can talk about the weekly in-season stuff, or this can be a link to YouTube or on your huddle, right? Like we talked about, because it's less likely that they get an ad on your YouTube. So it's easier for them to watch. There's less friction, less wait time for them watching an ad on huddle. Okay, so they're more likely to take that action and go to the next step. So, all right, hey, their coach's last name, like the brand of football you guys play, or like what you're building, just wondering if you're looking for this or that, right? Literally just go down the list like this. So first person, Caitlin Lambert, okay, assistant on-campus recruiting coordinator. If her DMs are open, which hers aren't, you would, if they were open, you would hit message, you would copy and paste that. It follows, you see Taft is following her, bang. Just scroll down to some random person here. Fresno State, Coach Jay Davis at Fresno State. So his DMs are close too, but go through, follow these. If you get a follow back, then that's a pretty good lead. That's a pretty good chance that they might be interested. So from there, then you can go ahead and message them because their DMs will be open. And there's emails in here too, like you see. There's Twitter, so you can take it upon yourself to do emails. But really, what we're talking about right now is Twitter. So when a coach follows you and no one messages yet, right? So you had to message him, he had to message you. Hey there, coach, last name. I appreciate the follow. Just write into, are you looking for that? Super simple, super easy.
If you're already getting film and highlights each week and you want my help to implement some of these strategies and best practices that we're talking through on this group call here, you can book in a call with me or my team below in the description. We'll talk through your situation, ask you a couple of questions to see if you're a fit for our paid program, where we'll help you with all this different kind of stuff. Now, it is a one-on-one program, so we do have to cap it at 25 athletes each season, but we do have a couple spots left. If you are interested, we'd love to talk to you and see if it's a fit, see if we can help you out. If not, keep watching the video and hope you get a lot of value from it.
Okay, weekly in-season highlights. So kind of right now, you guys are getting these weekly highlights. So like we said, every Saturday, Sunday, like get these things up ASAP. You can see Taft already got his, and it's screen recorded. So it's going to be easier for coaches to watch it right here on his profile. Is this one in your bio here? Is this your junior year or is this your week one? Taft, let's see. Yeah, this is your junior year. So that's good. I would keep that just like that. You see, we got no ad, so that's good news. So keep that just like that. I like the pinned post though. So you can send the screen recorded highlights through Twitter DM, or you can send the link to the YouTube or your huddle. And then so you have to, I would send that first, because if you send it second, then it'll just say like a link was sent. When a coach opens his DM, the big list of DMs, he wants to see like words on there, not just another like link. So send your link first, and then after that, send a message so that it looks like you're saying words and he has reason to open it. Okay, and address him by his coach name, right? Hey, Coach Johnson, because this is what he's going to see, basically as a preview to his Twitter DM. You could put something in there like, nice win on Saturday or tough loss last Saturday if you want to customize it a little bit more. Here are my highlights from last week. I had, and this is where you would insert a stat, right? So I had 2 touchdowns, or I had 5 tackles, or I had, this thing. Like I wouldn't get into it where you're, listing like I had 10 carries, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 yards per carry, yada, yada, 6 tackles, 1 TFL, 1 sack, 65, punt return yards. Like just keep it simple. Obviously, you see like that's kind of the theme here, is keep stuff simple. Like you don't want to send them so much information like, holy shit, they're going to find out about you from your profile, right? You don't need to put all this stuff into a message. So keep it simple with the messaging so you can stand out a little bit and not like overwhelm them with information. Same thing here. If you haven't asked us yet, like great time to figure out if they're still looking for, your grad year at your position. And I know you guys had kind of asked like, oh, okay, so say you do this and like they don't answer. Well, like you can do this every week because you're getting new highlights every week, right? And then like kind of like a bonus or like a value-based follow-up is ask a question or choose a question that's going to be different from everyone else. Like if you follow up 2 or 3 times, that's going to be, more than everyone else does, because usually most people just send 1 message and think that's going to be enough. So follow up 2 or 3 times, but do so in a way that's going to be a little bit different. Don't just send the same message over and over and over again. So one that I really liked and one that worked for me when I was in high school, and then I've kind of implemented with our guys, and it's worked well, is so say it's like whatever, like a Sunday or Monday night during the season. There's obviously going to be football on. As simple as, hey, Coach Johnson, who you got tonight, Chiefs or Eagles, or whoever's playing that game Sunday night or Monday night. Very simple, like very low commitment ask or apply. It's not like, you always have to talk about football or something like that. Obviously, when you're talking to these college coaches, treat it like you're talking to your high school coach in a way. Like, you don't need to put them up on a pedestal, but you don't want to talk to them like they're your boy. So that kind of mid-tier range of showing them respect, but also like acting like a normal human being. So that's a good one for, if you've been hammering them with some of these, then maybe you haven't gotten any luck, or you just need a reason to hit them up and see what's going on. Easy question like that. Then from there, then you're just having a conversation and you're right into it. Any questions from you guys? That all makes sense.
Well, if you were me, would you keep the link? Should I make that my weekly ones every week, or should I keep that just like from last year's big one?
How much like for you, I would say keep your pin post, your highlights from last year, your junior year, because you shouldn't be like posting or reposting too many things during the week. So like they should be able to find your last week highlights pretty easy if they're on your profile, right?
Yeah. So don't pin each week's posts.
Probably not. No, I would leave your junior year highlights pinned. For you, Brett, I would pin each weeks that come up, or like pin your mid-season one when you get that going. All right.
Okay.
But I think your junior year highlights are pretty solid, Taft, and I think that's gonna be something to show off. So leave that there, and like obviously, how many posts do we got here? Like these are all great posts, like the car wash. Yeah, or no, that's a car line. You're just getting kids out, like walking to school or something. Love it. Yeah, like all great posts. So in theory, this one would have been September 6th. So right here. So like whatever, second post down, like pretty easy for coaches to find from last week. Obviously, if you're in their DM too, like super easy reason just to hit them up and send them your highlights from that week. But yeah, great post. How was K-State, by the way? It was a tough loss, right?
Yeah, the loss was bad, but they talked to me and said they're gonna look at my film for the next 3 weeks and then make their decision. And as of right now, I'm the number one guy. It's left on board, so as long as I don't sell for the next 2 weeks.
Well, heck yeah, dude. That's that's big time, bro. So congrats. Well
Thank
deserved.
you.
Just gotta go out there and keep playing, but definitely. Yeah, bro. I would go junior highlights with the pin post, and then week by week just post them on here, and we'll kind of go from there. Brett, I would do your week by week, and then once you have, because Brett, you're what, 3 games in?
Yeah.
Cool, dude. So after this week, I would get together like a mid-season reel, like a weeks 1 through 4, and then get that as your pinned, like ASAP, bro.
Bye.
Cool. So yeah, really just a piece that to like tie it all together, like sit down, figure out what your routine is going to look like, because obviously you can shove everything that we just talked about into like a weekly routine. Like your weeks are probably a little bit lighter at the start of the weeks, and same thing with these coaches too, right? Like Sunday, Monday, they're kind of going from game review to starting to game plan. So don't feel like you're going to reach out to them at a bad time. Like you just got to stay consistent with it. And when you get those highlights made for yourself and things like that, send those out, follow up, do those types of things, and sit down and like figure out what your routine is going to look like. And we can obviously meet too, like 1-to-1, and I can help you kind of figure it out if it's something that you're like struggling with. But like go by yourself first, like brainstorm some things, so that way we have something to talk about on our call. Even like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are like super important days for like what you're putting in your body and how you're resting and how you're recovering and like getting sleep. Even Wednesday, like Tuesday and Wednesday night are just as important as getting sleep as like Thursday night, that your day before a game. Like Thursday is super important. Friday, obviously what you do up until game time is very, very important. So that's something that helped me a lot, was having the same thing every week so that my body and my brain and everything like can expect what's going to happen that day before and day of up to game time. so you're not
Yeah.
drinking anything.
Do you have any like advice for like hydration? Like what would you do for like in terms of like hydration? Like you think like Gatorade and that shit helps, or like just like drink more water? Because I feel like I'm like dehydrated too.
Yeah. Why do you feel like that? Like, why do you feel like you're
My weight like last week for
Mhm.
K-State, like I weighed in the day after game day or after the game and I was 212. I lost like dead ass 10 pounds on Friday.
Yeah.
So I
That's
could use my water probably.
yeah. Even obviously like during practice stuff, like hydrate a whole bunch. Even after practice, like, dude, like here at BC, right? Like, I mean, they have like drip drop on the sidelines for us. They have Powerade. They obviously have water too, like during practices. So you can like sip on that during practice, and then after practices, like we'll have like a full Powerade, like while we're doing our like stretch down type deal, and like everyone has to drink like a full Powerade. So that's obviously super important. Um, and for you, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday leading up to the game, like I mean, water is just gonna be your best bet. Like Thursday during the day, Thursday night, Friday during the day, leading up to game time, like even Friday or Thursday night too. Like they make like electrolyte packets you can have like drip drop, like liquid IV. Some people have found those helpful. Um, as if you're dealing with like cramps and stuff like that, then I would say probably lean towards more something like that, something that has a little bit more salt in it. Like you can obviously still do that, but because you're losing so much weight, you're probably just like not getting enough water and or like food too. So like after your games, like you should be putting down a whole bunch of water to like rehydrate yourself, or like a protein shake or like chocolate milk, something like that. Super big for after game time. Then you should be, like making sure that you're getting food in after your game Friday night, eating breakfast on Saturday morning, and obviously throughout the week doing those things too. But
Okay. That sounds good. I think I'm not eating enough throughout the week and then like that because last week I had a game. I think I gained 22 pounds Saturday morning, so I could go to K-State 230. It was pretty.
22 pounds in one day, bro.
Yes, like and it was in like 3 hours. It was the grossest thing I've ever had to experience. So I
That's
don't
crazy.
want to have to ever do that again.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, dude, that's something that I've, kind of like struggled with too throughout my years is keeping on weight in season. But like we said, like having a routine and having a plan is like one of the most important things because just going about it and not knowing when you're going to eat next or what you're going to drink or do this or do that, like, it's not going to work out for you. Like you obviously like having a plan, like it's the same exact thing with like training, right? Like when you go to train, like, do you know what you're going to do and do you know the sets and reps? Like you just kind of like walk in there and hope that you figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, you were connecting to my car. I couldn't unmute myself.
Yeah, no, man, you're good. Yeah, so it's the same exact way with like literally like anything, right? Like having a plan as far as nutrition, recovery, hydration, like and like we can sit down and figure that out too. But cool, awesome. Well, was that whole thing pretty helpful for you guys or no?
Yeah.
Pretty valuable.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Cool. Yeah, no, we'll make sure the rest of the guys see this, get them right. I know you guys are getting into the thick of your season here, and Brett, you're in week 4. Taft, you're in week 2. So,
Yeah.
we've got guys kind of all over the board here, but I'm super excited to see you guys keep playing. Taft, thanks for sharing that highlight from last week, bro. It was super cool. Fired me up.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, boys, keep sharing those. We might have to bring back the highlight of the week that we had last year. I know both of you weren't here last year, but basically like share your best play or even like just your reel from the last Friday night, and then we like pick a winner and stuff, and you just get bragging rights in our group. So oh yeah, might have to bring that back for y'all, but
Yeah, bring that back. Bring that back.
for sure, because then and like we had like a deadline, like you have to get it up by like Monday night, so it forces y'all to get your highlights made up in those different things. So then it gets everyone excited to watch each other's stuff. So well, yeah, boys. Hell yeah, we fly out to Stanford tomorrow on like a 7-hour plane ride.
Sheesh. Doughboy's gonna win that one.
Yeah,
How's
we
Stanford
should.
this year?
They're not very good, bro, to be honest. But obviously, you have to, go into every game.
Handle business.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
they're 0-2, but I mean, shit, still have to go and play our game.
What are you guys?
We're 1-1.
Who'd y'all lose to?
Michigan State last Saturday
Okay.
on national
That's not
TV.
a bad loss though, because aren't they supposed to be pretty good this year?
They're all right. I mean, their quarterback is better than he was last year, but like we should have won. It was 42-40. We lost in double overtime.
Oh yeah, I think I actually saw that on like ESPN or something. I heard about that.
Yeah. No, dude, we were on NBC, 7:30 start. Like, dude, the atmosphere was actually like bananas, bro. Like 80,000 people.
That's wild.
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, dude, it was nuts. I was
I was about to say, it's got to be different from what you were having last year.
yeah,
That's crazy.
for sure. Not, dude. I think the biggest crowd I played in front of last year was like 4,000 or 5,000 or
Jeez.
something. So yeah,
So, like times that by like 20.
yeah, dude, playing in front of like 80,000 is pretty dope, bro. Like it's a different feeling for sure. And like
Yeah.
pulling up the stadium in our team buses, and like we're driving through their like tailgate, and everyone's like booing us and like flipping us off, and then we like get off the bus. Yeah, dude, it was a cool experience. I was just like I was playing on like specials and stuff. So I mean, even just to get out there was a pretty dope feeling.
Yeah, it's still elite, bro. It's elite.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and crazy to think y'all joined this, and y'all believed in me when I was just a D3 cat doing my best at Blytheville. So it's it's funny to see how all of us have grown inside of here, not just you guys, but everyone. So
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Thank you, Will.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Thank
bro.
you.
Thanks, boys.
Bye.
Are we doing yoga on Sunday?
Yeah. 8
All
p.m.
right, bet. I'll be on that mug.
Love it.
All right, see you then. Thank you.
Yes, sir, boys.
Bye.
See ya.